Costa Rica, 2006. United fan Jamie Leeming was involved in a surfing accident.
I remember turning my head side to side trying to get my mouth up to breathe, but I couldn't even do that. And I was starting to panic. I think I was pretty close to taking in a lungful of water. But then I just felt these two hands come underneath my chest and lift me up. And I was like, took a big deep breath. And the relief of being able to breathe was just mind-blowing. These two guys dragged me out of the water anyway, and I remember they took me onto the beach and a crowd had gathered. I remember looking up at these people and saying, I can't move my legs.
Jamie was taken to the local clinic before being airlifted to the country's capital, San Jose. It was becoming clear that he'd seriously injured himself.
They did CT scans and x-rays, and then a surgeon who told me in broken English that I'd broken my neck. He told me that I'd shattered the 6th vertebra, which is near the base of your neck. And he said he was going to operate. I knew nothing about spinal cord injuries. I thought it was going to make me better.
They're going to say hello. Say good morning, everybody. Say good morning, everybody.
On the neonatal ward, Nurse Julie is looking after baby Hugo. After nearly 10 weeks, he's finally out of intensive care. And to celebrate, he's been sent a present.
Right, I've done his bum just before, so I'm just going to pop his little vest on today, what Daddy's bought him. My favourite player as well. I think I've supported United since, I'd say probably a teenager. I'm not really sure what my work colleagues think about him, but I don't really care. It's the whole thing, the match day, getting up, getting ready, travelling here, you know, getting on the tram, meeting up with the guys and girls and having a few beers, and then the feeling of sick in your stomach. I just still get it now. Bigger games, it's even worse. Walking into your seat, it feels like you're walking onto the pitch. It's just the atmosphere and the adrenaline, it's brilliant. I can't describe it. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have United.
Yeoman warder Steve McMenemy is a huge United fan living an extraordinary life within the Tower of London.
A lot of the people don't realise that it's a village. So when they're driving past of a night time, they think it's all closed. It's a thriving community. And the kids, my kids, being, well, my two youngest are 7 and 13, very, very popular for sleepovers. The Devereux Tower was built in 1240. So apparently behind that wall, there is another room with an old Victorian fireplace, which would have made it bigger, but I think we've got it quite nice and how we want it now anyway. So downstairs we've got a cellar, you've got a vaulted ceiling. I think there's one about 2 or 3 in the whole tower itself. We've got 3 bedrooms upstairs. Amelia's got a bedroom on the upper floor which leads out onto the roof. So yeah, there's lots of little cupboards and little spaces knocking around the tower. So this is my state dress, or part of the state dress. We wear this on state occasions, so we'll wear kind of 3/4 trousers, we wear woolen tights, so doing our ladies feel. With this as well, we wear our full medals, white gloves, the sword, and we carry the partisan. Probably over £10,000 worth when you've got everything together. Very heavy, but of course very, very proud to wear it. Worn really only on very, very kind of special state occasions when full state dress. Really, full state dress is in the presence of the monarch.
And it won't be long before Steve proudly dons the outfit again. It's the month of the Queen's 90th birthday, and preparations at the Tower are already underway for the big celebration. In Las Vegas, supercar technician Enrique is under pressure to repair one of the company's flagship Lamborghinis, but an SOS has come in from the racetrack.
Typically per day I can expect to hear 2, 3 to 4 calls for different reasons. Something as simple as the tires are worn out and they need assistance changing them, to something as severe as the engine is detonated and there's parts all over the track. In this case, one of our F430s is having a charging issue, most likely a battery. The batteries take a lot of abuse. And here they are. Yeah, go ahead.
When you guys come and pick up F27, can you also take PT16? It is also down. Looks like the pin for the front left brake pad came out. The pads are ready to come out.
Copy. I just arrived at track. We'll be there in a second.
It's more bad news from trackside. As well as having the Ferrari to fix, one of the Porsches has developed a serious braking issue. Whilst Enrique tackles the flashy Italian, one of his technicians takes on the no-nonsense German. In fact, it's all hands on deck. Enrique Jr. is paying a visit, ready to help out in the ultimate playground.
When my son was born, the first piece of clothing he ever wore was a shirt with a Manchester United logo embossed on it. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be trying out for the academy soon. He will be a fan. You know, there's no mention of any other club but Manchester United in my home, and that's so he will be a fan. He's a pretty good assistant. He, when he's not running around, he'll hand me tools. It took me the better part of 27 years to start to work on these, and he's 3 years old and he's already climbing in and out of them.
Whilst little Enrique tries to decide which car he likes best, Dad talks through the Porsche repair with his team.
How are the pads? Since the caliper has come loose, we're going to go ahead and give it some fresh hardware. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this problem from now on so it won't happen again.
Both cars need to be returned to the track as soon as possible, and there's still the Lamborghini transmission to fix.
I'd say we can have this back in about an hour and a half, just in time for the next session, which is the goal.
Patrick Silk is a border security officer who's desperate to become an actor. Today, he's in central London, facing some intense questioning.
Your number is logged 3 times on her mobile.
Look, I've been here 2 hours now. You're gonna have to charge me with something or let me go.
Cuts.
To help realise his ambition of appearing on stage and screen, for the last few weeks he's been attending the London Actors Workshop. Tutor Daniel is challenging the class to really understand the characters they've each been asked to play.
So what about the phone calls? Tell me about the phone calls.
I helped her with phone calls. I left messages. I helped her.
Okay, close your eyes. I want you to see yourself making those phone calls. Really important. So that when the person shouts action, you're just in the middle of life. It's not the start of a scene or something. You're already in it. 2 hours, fast forward. Open your eyes, both of you. Don't look at me, I'm not here. Just talk to each other.
Claudie made 3 calls to you on her mobile prior to her death. The final one lasting 20 minutes.
I've told you, she's upset. She was going to kill herself.
Is that why you met her at the hotel?
Could have been anybody a witness saw. Anybody who just looks like me.
Cut. Better, isn't it?
Yeah, better, yeah. Good.
It's all starting to fall into place for Pat. In a week's time, he'll get the chance to showcase his developing talents as the group perform at one of the world's leading drama academies.
And you were feeling stuff at the end there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Just 100 times better.
So if you ever look at any TV or film or anything, there's loads of space.
After a surfing accident in Costa Rica, United fan Jamie was told that he'd broken his neck. It wasn't long before he was airlifted back to the UK for specialist treatment.
Straight onto the runway, an ambulance picked me up at Manchester and took me to the spinal injuries unit at Southport. And I think it was only then when you get assigned a consultant and he has a chat with you, and that's when the gravity really sort of kicks in, and they're pretty frank with you and they tell you people with this kind of injury don't usually ever get to walk again.
Unfortunately, Jamie was no exception. Muscle grafts and physiotherapy have restored limited grip in his hands, but sadly, his legs remain paralysed.
I'm just putting the finishing touches to the front cover, which features an interview with Jesse Lingard.
Nearly 10 years on from his accident, not only is Jamie back working as a web designer, he's now got a dream job with his beloved Manchester United.
When I was made redundant from my last job, which was at the Daily Sports, I decided to go self-employed, and going along to the games at Old Trafford, I noticed that they were handing out this magazine, copies of it, and I basically offered my services with previous experience as a newspaper designer, and they accepted and got me involved. I still get nervous going to Carrington, and you know, when they stop you on the gate and ask you who you are and what you want, it's still nerve-wracking, but I'm kind of used to it, I think. The first one, Ryan Giggs, when I went to interview him, they were doing a lot of work on the Aon training complex, and I think because of his senior position there and authority, he just came and got us. So we ended up going through the gym and into just the corner of the gym where there was various players on exercise bikes and doing weights, and sort of looking around thinking, I don't think I should be in here, but Ryan Giggs is with us, so it's okay. Oh, hello. Come on in. You all right? Everybody with this type of injury wants to be as independent as they can and not have to be looked after. I have very little looking after these days. There are things I can't do for myself that I'll never be able to do for myself, and I just accept it. But anything that I can possibly do for myself, I'll struggle.
Jamie has got that fighting spirit. There's nothing now that he won't even try, do you know what I mean? He is inspirational.
I'm working on rolling reds as usual, so and you know what it's like. It really annoys me when I'm struggling up a hill and someone comes along and just grabs a wheelchair and starts pushing me. If I want help, I'll ask for it. You wouldn't like someone to just come and pick you up and carry you up a hill, would you? Well, you might, I don't know. You ponder that for quite a while, wondering, well, am I lucky or am I unlucky? And I think I've got a pretty good life, to be honest with you. I enjoy life still. So I do consider myself lucky that I got rescued.
Please.
Still to come, Nurse Julie delivers some important news on baby Hugo.
Oh, it's such a hard life.
And Pat tries to keep calm before the big performance.
These pills are good. More.